It was supposed to be a quiet getaway, just a little sun, sea, and serenity to escape the drama of Atlanta. But baby, when photos surfaced of Jasmine, yes, Jasmine lounging poolside on the same Jamaican resort where Kirk and Rashida were supposedly celebrating their marriage reboot? Social media erupted. Fans are shocked, cast members are scrambling, and the streets of love and hip-hop ATL will never be the same. How did the woman who once shook Rashida's marriage to its core end up sipping piña coladas on the same vacation as the Frosts? Was it a coincidence? A setup? Or worse, a secret reconciliation behind the scenes? The receipts are messy, the timing is suspicious, and sources are saying this was no accident. And while Rashida is out here posting cryptic, "God got me" captions, Jasmine is unbothered posing in bikinis, tagging the same hotel Kirk just posted from 2 days prior. Fans are calling it the ultimate betrayal, and the comments are wilder than a reunion episode. But that's not even the wildest part. Because back in Atlanta, Yandi Smith-Harris is catching strays again, after a shady segment on Rashida's new podcast left Yandi in tears. She's now questioning their entire friendship. The words Rashida allegedly said, cold cutting and caught on a leaked audio clip that's already gone viral. Now the question is Rashida secretly two-facing her friends? Is Jasmine plotting a comeback with Kirk? And how did a tropical vacation spiral into a three-way scandal that could tear ATL's strongest women apart? Grab your tea, because this story is explosive. Secrets are surfacing, alliances are crumbling, and one thing is clear: nothing is what it seems this season. You think you've seen drama before? Buckle up, because we're just getting started. It all started with one innocent Instagram story, a flash of turquoise water, a coconut drink held by manicured fingers, and a familiar anklet that fans immediately recognized. Jasmine, the same Jasmine who once brought love in hip-hop Atlanta to its knees with the explosive revelation that she had a son with Kirk Frost. The Jasmine that Rashida swore she'd never forgive. But now, in a twist no one could have predicted, Jasmine was seen in what appeared to be the exact same beachfront villa that Kirk had posted from just 24 hours earlier. Within minutes, fan pages began stitching together screenshots, matching up the same lounge chairs, identical towel prints, and even the same poolside bartender. And then came the caption that blew the lid clean off the internet. Some energy, just don't lie. #Healing in Paradise fans lost it. Is Jasmine on vacation with Kirk? Where is Rashida? One follower commented, tagging every LHHATL gossip blog within reach. And that's when it really got messy, because Rashida was there. She had posted a photo of her and Kirk just 3 days prior. All smiles and matching linen fits, holding hands in front of the same cabana, which meant all three of them were there at the same time. By the time the Shade Room reposted it, the comment section had turned into a war zone. "This is foul," one fan wrote. "Did Rashida lose her mind, or did Kirk set her up again?" Another asked, "Is this some weird open marriage situation now?" But no one could make sense of it, because Rashida, usually quick to clap back or clear the air, was silent. No reposties, no denials, just a cryptic Instagram story, a selfie with the caption, "When you've healed, nothing surprises you anymore." And that's when people started speculating. Was Rashida involved? Was this some strange therapy exercise? Or was she completely blindsided by yet another Kirk scheme? Back in Atlanta, the cast group chat was going crazy. Bambi messaged the girls directly, "Y'all seeing this Jasmine mess? Tell me this ain't real." Sierra replied with the big eyes emoji. Even Spice chimed in from tour. Jasmine better have a bulletproof vest if Rashida didn't approve that trip. But one person who wasn't joking was Yandi. Yandi had just wrapped up an interview segment with a local Atlanta podcast, talking about her latest skincare collab, when the news hit her phone. But what shook her even more was not Jasmine, was Rashida, because just hours earlier, a leaked audio clip from that same podcast had started making the rounds. In it, Rashida could be heard allegedly throwing major shade at Yandi, saying, "She always trying to act like she perfect. Like her relationship didn't go through hell too. I'm just saying. Don't throw stones when your own glass house got bullet holes." The betrayal hit Yandi like a punch to the chest, because not only had she considered Rashida a close friend, she had defended her when everyone else dragged her for staying with Kirk. Yandi had stood by her on panels, on episodes, even in real life, telling women to support their sisters instead of judging them. And now, this shade, on a podcast. Behind her back, she called Mendices immediately. "Did you hear this mess?" she snapped. "Jasmine's in Jamaica with Kirk and Rashida. And now people sending me audio of Rashida shading me on her little podcast. Mendices, who had been low-key trying to avoid the drama, sighed. Wait, Jasmine's where? In Jamaica. With them. And Rashida just went on a mic and said I live in a glass house with bullet holes. He paused. You sure it's her voice? Yandi scoffed. You think I don't know my own friend's voice? Come on. Meanwhile, Jasmine was doing what Jasmine does best, igniting chaos with a smile. She posted another story, this time showing only Shadow's 3 figures walking down the beach. But fans swore they could make out Kirk's gate and Rashida's long braids. The internet exploded again. Was Rashida really walking side by side with Jasmine, the woman who had a baby with her husband behind her back? Within hours, cameras were rolling again. Producers jumped into action, scrambling to set up a scene with Rashida the moment she got back to Atlanta. They needed answers, and they knew the viewers would demand blood. But Rashida wasn't about to be ambushed. The moment she landed, she summoned the production crew to her boutique for a private sit-down. I already know what this about, she said coolly as the cameras rolled. And let me just say this, y'all love running with a narrative before asking the woman herself. The producer asked, so were you in Jamaica with Jasmine? Rashida didn't flinch. Yes, I was. The room went silent. But let me explain, she continued. It wasn't no girls' trip. It wasn't no kumbaya reunion. Kirk's therapist invited her. We've been doing these sessions to finally bury the drama. He thought maybe a controlled environment would help us all move forward, for the kids. Did you agree to that? The producer pressed. I didn't say yes at first, Rashida admitted. Hell, I cussed Kirk out. But then I thought about it. How many years am I gonna keep letting this woman live rent-free in my spirit? I wanted closure. So yeah, I went. I sat across from her. And I let her talk. But what Rashida didn't know was that Jasmine had been documenting everything. Voice memos, secret footage, and allegedly private conversations. And just as Rashida was explaining herself on camera, Jasmine uploaded a selfie from the airport with the caption, sometimes, closure means telling your truth, even if it breaks somebody else's. Back at Yandy's place, she wasn't buying any of it. She set this up, Yandi told Bambi over FaceTime. You really think it's a coincidence that Jasmine just happened to be there and then just happens to leak photos and post cryptic captions? Come on. Bambi looked skeptical. But if Kirk invited her for therapy, then Kirk's playing Rashida again, Yandi snapped. And now she wanna talk about my glass house. She better hope hers don't come with shattered floors. But then the plot twisted even more. Because late that night, another clip from Rashida's podcast resurfaced, this time with Rashida allegedly talking about Bambi and her divorce from Scrappy. Some people don't know how to keep a man because they too busy being the man, she said. The audio was clear. The shade was vicious. Bambi was livid. Oh hell no, she muttered, scrolling through the clip. Now I know this chick, not talking slick about me too. Within 24 hours, the Frost family drama had spilled into a full-on ATL meltdown. Jasmine was dropping breadcrumbs. Rashida was spinning explanations. Yandi was boiling with betrayal. And Bambi. She was ready to pull up. The next morning, the group chat was a full battlefield. Bambi had already posted a not-so-subtle Instagram story with the words, "Let's not forget who taught ATL how to keep a man before y'all started podcasting for clicks." No tags, but everyone knew who that was aimed at. Fans flooded the comments with fire emojis, laughing gifs, and all caps reactions. Ushi, talking about Rashida. One user commented, Bambi said play with your mic, not with her name. And just like that, the drama snowballed again because Rashida finally snapped. She jumped into the group chat herself, sending a voice note that hit like a wrecking ball. Y'all out here trying to clown me over some edited podcast clips when none of y'all ever been woman enough to face your own situations head on. I sat across from Jasmine to heal, not to entertain. Meanwhile, some of y'all out here crying over baby daddies who can't even spell loyalty. Boom. Yandi immediately responded, girl, don't do that. You let the whole city think you and Jasmine on a couples retreat and now wanna call us out. Bambi, right. And don't talk to me about baby daddies when you had Kirk raw dogging strippers and side chicks for years. Carly Red, sipping tea quietly in the corner of the chat, finally chimed in with, let's all meet and talk this out before the blogs eat us alive. Too late, the blogs were already starving, and this drama was a feast. Meanwhile, Jasmine wasn't letting up either. She went live on TikTok claiming she was invited to Jamaica by both Kirk and Rashida. It wasn't no sneak move, she said with a smug smile. She knew I was coming. She sat down with me. She even hugged me before we left. So all this extra noise, it's for y'all, not for me. Within seconds, the footage went viral. Fans dissected every blink, every lip curl, every syllable like it was a federal case. Some were stunned. Others weren't shocked at all. Rashida had been forgiving that man for a decade, one fan posted. What's a hug to a woman who took back a whole baby? The memes were instant, Rashida holding hands with Jasmine while Kirk sat in the background, looking like a Dollar Tree therapist. But what really sent the ATL into flames was Jasmine's next post, a blurry video taken from behind a palm tree, clearly shot in secret. In it, Rashida's voice could be heard saying, "Honestly, she's the one who broke my trust the most. I expect messy from Kirk, but I didn't expect it from her. She, as in Yandi." Fans exploded. Wait, is Rashida talking about Yandi, not her throwing shade on vacation too? The caption underneath read, "Say it with your chest next time, sis." Yandi saw it immediately. Her reaction, swift and lethal. She took to Instagram Live, visibly upset but composed, and spoke directly into the camera. "I've never betrayed Rashida. Never talked behind her back. So if she got something to say, she can say it to me. Not in a whisper behind some palm tree like we 15. I buried too many friendships over fake loyalty. I ain't doing it again." The comment section exploded. Fans were pouring in support. "Yandi's always been solid," one wrote. "Rashida looking real fake right now." Some even started a hashtag #PalmTreeConfessions. At this point, the producers had no choice. An emergency cast dinner was set up, neutral ground, cameras everywhere, contracts signed, and tension sky high. Bambi, Yandi, Rashida, Jasmine, Sierra, and even Carly Red were invited. It was being filmed at a rooftop restaurant in downtown ATL, and the minute Yandi walked in, you could feel the shift in energy. She didn't say a word at first, just sat down, back straight, eyes scanning the table. Rashida came in last. She walked in like she wasn't being dragged online by half the world. Dressed flawless in head-to-toe designer, expression unreadable. The cameras started rolling. "So let's get into it," Mona's voice rang out off camera. "Y'all clearly have some things to say." Yandi went first. "Let's start with the podcast. Rashida, you said some things that sounded real familiar. Want to clear that up?" Rashida took a deep breath. "I'll say this. I was talking about people who act like their lives are perfect when nobody's life is." "I didn't say your name, but you meant my name," Yandi fired back. "I've always supported you. I didn't judge you for staying with Kirk. I never brought up Jasmine. But now you're out here in Jamaica, playing peacekeeper with the woman who literally had a child with your man, and I'm the one you feel betrayed by." Rashida narrowed her eyes. "You don't know what I've been through with Kirk. You think social media knows my marriage. You think you know it better than me." "I know what I saw," Yandi said, voice rising. "And I know that hug didn't look like closure. It looked like y'all been real cozy behind the scenes." At that moment, Bambi interjected. "And since we airing it out, let's talk about that slick comment on your podcast about women not knowing how to keep a man." Rashida looked annoyed. "I wasn't talking about you, Bambi." "Well, guess what?" Bambi shot back. "The shoe fit real tight. You always been the queen of silence until it's time to go viral, and then you want to act confused when people come for you." Jasmine, sipping her cocktail calmly, finally spoke. "Y'all can fight all y'all want, but I showed up to that trip on their invitation, not mine. And if we're being honest, the only reason Rashida hugged me was because her therapist told her she needed to let it go to move on." Yandi turned to Jasmine. "Sweetheart, no offense, but your receipts come with more edits than a Carly Red relationship timeline. Let the grown women talk." Carly nearly choked on her water. "Why am I getting dragged out of nowhere?" Chaos erupted, voices overlapping, Bambi yelling, Rashida defending, Jasmine smirking, even the waiter backed away mid-order. Finally, Sierra banged her wine glass with a spoon. "Enough. This is too much. Can we please just take a breath?" Silence. Yandi leaned in, voice calm but piercing. "You know what hurts the most, Rashida, not the podcast, not the hug. It's knowing that when it was me, under fire, I had your back, but now, with all this Jasmine mess, you couldn't even pick up the phone." Rashida's eyes welled. I didn't know what to say. Then say that Yandi whispered. Don't play both sides and call it growth. For a moment, there was quiet. Heavy, loaded, painful, quiet. And just when it seemed like things might settle, Jasmine pulled one last card. She placed her phone on the table, tapped a video file, and slid it toward the group. Here, since y'all think I'm lying. Everyone gathered around. The screen played a video clip, grainy, secretly recorded, but clear enough. Rashida, at the resort, sitting next to Jasmine, saying, I'm not saying we'll be friends, but if we can coexist, I'll take that. You've changed. I see it. Bambi rolled her eyes. So you did invite her back in. You just didn't want us to know. Rashida looked cornered, breathing heavy. I said that in a moment. I was trying to do what the therapist said. I didn't think it would be blasted online. Yandi stood up, collecting her purse. You didn't think. That's the whole problem. And with that, she walked away. Again, Yandi's heels clicked against the pavement as she stormed out of the rooftop restaurant. Her mic pack still hot and recording. The camera crew followed her for a few feet, but she waved them off. She didn't need a dramatic exit. Her silence screamed louder than any confessional. Inside, the table was still vibrating with tension. Rashida hadn't moved. Her lip trembled slightly, but she held it in. She wasn't about to cry in front of these cameras again. Not after everything she had already let slide this season. Bambi sat back, arms crossed, clearly feeling vindicated. Sierra blinked back her own frustration. Carly just sipped her wine, watching it all unfold like the chaotic aunt she was. And Jasmine looked like she was 2 seconds away from posting another story, captioned I said what I said. The producers shut down filming for the night, but the story was far from over. As the cast dispersed, the streets of Atlanta lit up with commentary. The clip of Jasmine sliding her phone across the table was already being replayed on TikTok and Instagram Reels, remixed with sound effects and captions like Rashida, blink twice if you're trapped. But what stunned fans even more was what came next. Yandi, who had sworn she was done, went live just 2 hours after the dinner raw. No makeup, bonnet on, and heart wide open. I wasn't even gonna say nothing, she began, holding back tears. But when someone you considered your sister blindsides you on camera, in front of the whole world, and hugs the very woman who helped destroy her home, you start questioning everything. I defended Rashida when it wasn't popular. I stood next to her when she was breaking down. I didn't expect perfection, I just expected loyalty. The live had over 65K viewers within 10 minutes. People flooded the chat with support. Yandi always been 100. Rashida fumbled a real one. We riding with Yandi, but in the comment section, a new debate brewed. Some fans started shifting the blame to Jasmine, questioning her motives. Why she still filming secret videos like we in 2017? One fan asked. Another added, Jasmine's not trying to heal, she's trying to trend. And then, the unexpected happened. Jasmine's own baby daddy, Logan, popped up in the mix. He posted a cryptic tweet. That girl don't know peace unless she's causing war. Fans immediately interpreted it as a jab at Jasmine. Within an hour, he clarified on IG stories. I tried to stay out of this, but watching Jasmine spin this narrative like she's some growth queen, nah. She filmed everything in Jamaica without telling anyone. Even me. She's not healed. She's plotting. The comment section imploded. Jasmine now had multiple 8 figures turning on her, and her healing in paradise narrative was falling apart. Meanwhile, Rashida was finally forced to confront the backlash head-on. In an emotional sit-down confessional filmed days later, she opened up like never before. Look, she said, voice shaking, I've done a lot of growing. A lot of forgiving. And yeah, inviting Jasmine to Jamaica. Maybe that was too soon. Maybe it was stupid, but when Kirk suggested it, I thought maybe just maybe it would put an end to the awkward tension. Every time I drop Kai off, every time we have family stuff, she's there. I was tired of the elephant in the room. The producer asked gently, but did you expect the footage to leak? No, Rashida said flatly. That part hurt, and the part with Yandi, that crushed me, because no matter what, I never meant for her to feel betrayed. But at some point, trying to please everyone leaves you empty. Still, not everyone was buying it. Bambi, who had stayed mostly quiet since the dinner, came through with another mic drop moment on Instagram Live. Let's be real, she said, curling her hair with one hand and sipping Red Bull with the other. You can't play therapist. peacemaker, and podcast queen all at once. You picked Jasmine over Yandi, whether you meant to or not. And now you mad the world saw it before you did. As the fandom divided into Team Yandi and Team Rashida, the cast was summoned again for a final mediation taping, a last attempt to bring everyone together before the reunion. This time, it was held at a secluded private home in the suburbs. No paparazzi, no extras, just core cast and crew. Yandi was hesitant to attend, but after a heartfelt phone call from Sierra, she agreed. "I'm not going for her," Yandi told Mendices, packing a light jacket. "I'm going to clear the air for me. Because I'm not gonna walk into that reunion with half-truths hanging over my head." When she arrived, Rashida was already there, seated in the living room, no glam squad, no jewelry, just her and a mug of chamomile tea. Jasmine wasn't invited. This was about the friendship, not the fire starter. The room was tense. Yandi sat across from Rashida, knees crossed, eyes steady. "You hurt me," she said, without preamble. "I know," Rashida whispered. "And I'm sorry." Yandi waited. No excuses. No justifications. Just silence. Then Rashida spoke. "Again, I didn't mean to choose her over you, but I did. And I see that now. I was so focused on being the bigger person that I didn't realize I was stepping on the people who held me up." Yandi's eyes welled with tears. "I never wanted you to pick sides. I just wanted you to see me. The real me. Not the version people gossip about. Not the headlines. Just me. Your friend." Rashida nodded. "You still are. If you'll let me fix this." And for the first time since the chaos began, the walls cracked. Yandi reached over and took her hand. No words, just energy. Tired, bruised, but honest. Outside, Sierra and Bambi watched through the window, both exhaling like they'd been holding their breath for days. "Maybe there's hope for us after all," Sierra whispered. "Maybe," Bambi replied. "But Jasmine, she gonna need a prayer circle and a lawsuit to fix what she broke." The cameras captured it all: real emotion, real damage, real attempts at healing. And while nothing was fully resolved, the line between reality and redemption had started to blur, but just when peace began to take root. Another clip leaked online. This time, it wasn't Jasmine, it was Kirk. And he was caught saying something that would blow everything up again. It hit the blogs at exactly 7:48 a.m. Just as the cast began preparing for their official reunion taping, a low-quality voice memo, crackling at the edges. But unmistakably Kirk Frost's voice, chuckling in the background as he said the words that would send season 13 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta into absolute chaos. "Man, Rashida, really think this was all for therapy? Please. I just needed Jasmine to stop threatening to go public with the old stuff." The words echoed across the internet like a digital explosion. The old stuff? What did that mean? Was there more than the child? More than the strip club rumors? Was Jasmine holding something even darker over Kirk's head, and had he manipulated Rashida's healing journey just to do damage control? Fans went into a frenzy. Instagram lives, YouTube breakdowns, Twitter threads. Everyone had a theory, and none of them were pretty. But it wasn't the fans who were most devastated. It was Rashida. Just one day after trying to mend fences with Yandi, just hours after letting her guard down on camera and embracing vulnerability for the first time in weeks, her entire world was yanked from under her again. Producers tried to reach her. Her phone went straight to voicemail. At her boutique, employees were instructed to reschedule appointments. The usually composed, brand-polished Rashida Frost had disappeared. Word on the street was she was holed up at her mama's house, not taking calls from anyone, not even Kirk. Meanwhile, Jasmine wasn't staying silent. She posted a 12-minute video to her YouTube channel, titled "The Truth About Me and Kirk." What you didn't see. Dressed in all black, tearfully composed, she spilled everything. "I stayed silent for years," she began. "But when a man uses you, erases you, then tries to villainize you on national television, nah, that ends today." She claimed Kirk had promised her a future even after his son was born. She alleged he'd continued to visit her privately, off camera, even after reconciling with Rashida. And worst of all, she dropped a bomb, that Kirk pressured her to stay quiet about certain business dealings he didn't want the world to know about. "I recorded that conversation because I was scared," Jasmine admitted, voice shaking. "Scared he'd spin it all again. Scared I'd be painted like the side chick forever. But I was young. I believed him. And now, I just want peace." The comments were divided. Some fans praised her for finally speaking out. Others accused her of clout chasing, manipulating the moment, and twisting the narrative just to stay relevant. But one thing was clear, this wasn't over. Not even close. Back in production headquarters, Mona Scott Young was reportedly fuming. The reunion taping was set to begin in less than 2 hours, but the cast was in shambles. Rashida was still missing. Kirk wasn't responding to producers, and Yandi was hesitant to show up at all. Sierra had to be pulled from glam because she was crying in her dressing room. "This ain't what we signed up for," she sobbed. "This ain't even reality TV anymore. This is real hurt." Bambi, ever the realist, walked in with a Red Bull and hoop earrings, like it was battle day. "Let's just do the damn show," she said. "We can cry after." But then came the final twist. Rashida showed up. Showed up. Makeup, no glam, no entourage. Just her, in a black hoodie and jeans. Eyes puffy, expression unreadable. She didn't say a word as she walked through the reunion set and sat in her chair. Kirk, already in place, tried to smile. She didn't look at him once. The reunion opened cold. No music, no applause, just Mona's voice, eerily calm. Let's get into it. The segment started with Jasmine's video. Rashida watched, stone-faced, as Jasmine detailed private meets, alleged secrets, and Kirk's manipulation tactics. Then, Mona turned to Kirk. "Is there truth to what Jasmine said?" He stammered. "Some of it. But not all." Rashida cut him off. "Which part is a lie, Kirk? The part where you told me it was about therapy? Or the part where you said you didn't see her anymore? Or maybe the part where you said I was the only one you loved?" Kirk looked frozen. "Babe, don't babe me," she snapped. "You had me out here hugging your side chick, like I was auditioning for Saint of the Year. And all the while, you're just trying to keep her quiet so you don't get exposed." Mona intervened. "Rashida, did you know about any of this before today?" Rashida shook her head. "Not a damn word. I trusted him. Again, like a fool." Then she turned to Yandi, voice shaking. "And to you. I owe the biggest apology. I accused you of betrayal when the real snake was sleeping in my bed." Yandi, holding back tears, nodded. "I never wanted this for you. I just wanted honesty." The room fell silent. Even Carly Red looked solemn. No one was ready for what Rashida said next. "I'm done with the fake therapy, the public apologies followed by private betrayal. I'm done with Kirk Frost." Kirk's mouth dropped. "You can't mean that." "I do," she said quietly. "I already forgave you once. Maybe twice. Maybe 10 times. But I can't keep sacrificing my self-worth for a man who sees me as a shield, not a wife." Mona leaned forward. "So what does that mean, Rashida?" Rashida took a deep breath. "It means this reunion is my last. I'm stepping away. From the show. From the mess. From him." A collective gasp spread across the room. The studio went eerily quiet. Kirk sat frozen, his face flushed with disbelief. He looked like he had just watched his empire burn in front of him, and maybe he had. Bambi grabbed Rashida's hand. Sierra cried. Even Jasmine, watching from backstage where producers had isolated her, purportedly asked for a moment to herself. And with that, the drama of Jamaica, the podcast shade, the hug heard around the world, and all the secrets it unearthed finally reached its breaking point. But as the cameras zoomed in on Rashida's face, strong, broken, beautiful, fans knew one thing for sure. This wasn't the end of a storyline. It was the beginning of a woman reclaiming her narrative. And just like that, the Frost legacy crumbled, not with a fight, but with a woman finally choosing herself over the circus. Rashida's tearful exit from the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta stage wasn't just the end of a season, it was the end of a cycle. After years of sticking by Kirk through betrayals, secret children, public humiliation, and now hidden recordings and shady therapy trips, she finally said the words fans have begged her to say for over a decade. "I'm done." Yandi, once wrongly accused, walked away with her dignity intact and her circle tighter than ever. Jasmine, while attempting to reclaim her narrative, may have exposed more than she intended, becoming both the messenger and the lightning rod of this explosive unraveling. And Kirk. Well, Kirk Frostmittov just fumbled the only woman who ever stood by him when no one else would. The internet is still reeling. Fans are divided. Blogs are flooded. And while Rashida says she's walking away from the show, viewers know better than to count her out. The phoenix always rises, especially in Atlanta. But what do you think? Was Rashida right to forgive Jasmine at first, or was it always a setup? Did Kirk mastermind the entire vacation just to avoid his secrets coming out? And should Jasmine be praised for speaking her truth or cancelled for weaponizing it at the perfect time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're talking betrayal, redemption, and reality TV at its wildest. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more recaps and drama breakdowns, and turn on your notifications so you never miss the next twist in this ATL saga. Because if there's one thing we've learned from love and hip-hop, the tea is never truly cold in Atlanta. We'll see you in the next one. Stay messy, stay woke, and stay ready because the drama is just getting started.